What's going on, guys? Got another knife review here for you. This is of the Triple Aught Design TAD Production Dauntless. These are from the second release of the Production Dauntlesses. So the first release back in, I think, July of 2012 was their first production release. They were serial numbered, and then the second release here in December, early December, I think. They released another batch of production Dauntlesses, and they plan on releasing more and more of them as time goes by. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get two from this release. It was my mistake, and Tad was able to kind of let that go this one time. So I'm definitely very thankful for that, and this is kind of just a one-time exception. So again, I was fortunate enough to be able to get that. They should have just dropped me from the list and opened up these two knives for other people. But again, they were good enough to allow this one to pass. So I was able to score the MK1, the titanium version of the TAD Dauntless, and then also get the black G10 TAD Dauntless. This one is much lighter, just incredibly light in hand. I was surprised to see how light this one and how hefty this one felt in the full titanium. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. Quick size comparison between the Sebenza. So you see very similar. I picked out all the knives that are very similar to the shape and size of these knives. So we got the Warren Thomas Model 2.5. Here's the Strider S&G, and then also the Les George VCP right here. So you can see, man, the George handle looks so similar to the TAD Dauntless, just bigger. So talk about that in a second. Anyway, so the Dauntless, apparently from what I've been learning, only like maybe half a year ago, I was still just wondering like what the Dauntless was. I kept hearing it, I kept seeing the names, I keep seeing like, all these people, custom knife makers that are making this Dauntless, and I had no idea what it was. I knew, or obviously they looked similar, but I had no idea where Dauntless came from and why it was such a big deal. I mean, these knives were commanding like thousands of dollars, in terms of price and things like that. So I was just really confused, and I kept posting on some of the forums like, what the heck is Dauntless, and what's the big deal about it. Didn't really get any responses, and finally I think I maybe just stumbled across Triple Aught Design, their website, and was looking at some of their knives, or maybe I was looking at like an archive of Dauntless knives. And so I was just seeing all these different makers, Alan Elishewitz, even Rick Hinder did a Dauntless collaboration, which was amazing. Les George has done one, Strider has done one, and Warren Thomas has done one. Not sure who else. There's a ton of people. Brad Southard. Oh gosh, Brad Southard's done probably one of my favorites. Dauntless is the Dauntless Flipper, and it's just an insanely amazing knife. And of course, Laffer's got 3 of them. So, but anyway, love that guy, great guy. But these Dauntlesses came out, and so I was just happy to get an opportunity to get a Dauntless in hand. It's not a custom collaboration. We still don't know. I don't think we know which company makes the Dauntless, these production Dauntlesses for them. But whoever it is, they did a really good job on it. So I think there's speculation of maybe Protec, but we don't know for sure. But really quick, basically you have a 3.4-inch blade, with the choil here, then you're talking about a 2.9, so less than a 3-inch blade length, or a cutting length on these Dauntlesses. So they definitely popularized the double choil kind of thing. So Hinder uses it, and Strider, obviously they use it as well. Oh, I didn't even say, so Dauntless, it was a knife design that was made by Triple Aught Design's founder, Patrick Ma. And so their located out here in San Francisco, so which is pretty cool. So that's right in my neck of the woods, and I'll definitely love to visit their brick and mortar store one of these days, just to see. I mean, they have all kinds of really cool stuff, all this outdoor gear, bags, clothing, jackets, fleece, all of which are very functional and very pricey for sure. So but yeah, so you got the titanium version, the MK1. You got titanium frame lock, S30V blade steel, which is the standard for all their knives. You have MK2, MK1, they're all the same there. You got this deep carry, deep ride pocket clip, which sits extremely high. If there's one thing that I hate about the Dauntless, or at least the production Dauntless, it's this pocket clip. Brian Fellhalter also uses a similar style deep carry pocket clip, and I really dislike it. Southern uses a really great kind of integrated pocket clip. It just looks beautiful on his collaboration. And actually, the production Dauntless, I think, looks the closest to Brian Fellhalter's Dauntless. Fellhalter's got a kind of more, I don't think Bowie style blade, but it's got a deeper cut drop point on his blade, so it's a little bit more pronounced and definitely probably a little more refined in terms of construction. But you know, the fit and finish on this on these knives is really good. You know, centering is perfect. Screw construction and how it sits and everything is great. Flips out really easily. No issues there. So you know, I'm very impressed with the fit and finish for sure. G10 Version Mk2 Black is the same thing. Instead of a titanium backspacer, it's using a G10 backspacer. Same color, and then it's got the G10 with the 3 fullers. So you know, basically for all the Triple Aught Design or Dauntless collaborations with custom makers, I think if it's a Dauntless, then they use the 1 fuller on the blade and then the 3 fullers on the handle, with the option of putting a fuller on the other side if the custom maker wants to. Standard construction in terms of, you know, uses a stop pin in the back, so no internal stop pin. I wish that more makers and companies use that. A lot of the really higher end knives now are all using those internal stop pins. You know, the Southern uses the internal stop pin. The Shoop right here uses internal stop pin. What else? Those are the ones, at least that I have out right now, that are using the internal stop pin. So I like that feature even more than the blade stops right here on the Strider, or say like a Hinder, you know, with these blade stops on there. I kind of like the internal stop pin. But anyway, good, you know, decent size stop pin on the inside. Uses I think T8 screws for the body. Just goes right through the backspacer and then goes internally on the frame side, so you don't get any screws coming out on this side, which is a nice feature. Looks very clean on this knife. So you know, really good lines on this knife, and then you got a flathead screw similar to like Emerson on the pivots right there. A very functional jimping, very seemingly hard cut. Doesn't look like it's hard cut, but feeling wise, it's very functional on the thumb. And with the double choil right here to be able to grip down on, you can get really great purchase on this knife. For the titanium sides and the scale, it's all either sandblasted or bead blasted, so it's gonna mark up like crazy. Which is one feature, which is, you know, I kind of wish that they just did a stone wash on there, so I don't have to worry about, you know, doing a stone wash. But I think, you know, as a user, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this one. You know, I'm really starting to enjoy like my Sebenza with all these, you know, use marks on it. It just kind of adds to the beauty of the knife. Really makes it my own. And yeah, so sometimes buying user knives like, you know, the VCP here with the scratches, it just makes you not care, you know, if you use it. So that's one of the really cool things about that, or about stonewashing. So yeah, so again, this deep carry pocket clip, really probably my only beef about this knife, other than, you know, maybe a thin lock bar relief on here. So that's not the, I wish it was a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger, but this really thin, twangy, I mean, it's just so easy to, I can lift it from here. It's that easy to lift up. So it's kind of weak. Sits in a pocket fine. Deep ride is actually, it's fine. I don't mind deep ride, but it's just so twingy. It twists a lot very easily. Kind of would scratch up the titanium if you let it. And yeah, just overall very thin and weak. So my friend Gencrade on YouTube, those of you guys that are familiar with the channel, says that there's this option of using the Benchmade MPR titanium clip on the Dauntless. So you can use this clip on here if you just modify the screws a little bit. And I'm going to be doing that for my titanium Dauntless at least. And I think that's an awesome option, and it looks really cool. And this, you know, for the MPR, you know, normally it's a tip down carry type knife, and so I don't plan on using it as a tip down. And so I just stripped it off of this knife, and it's a tight clip, you know, so it'll allow for, you know, regular carry on this knife, and I think it's going to look sharp. It looks awesome on Gencrade's TI Dauntless as well, so I'm really excited about that. Just really close comparison to, I really wanted to bring this out on the VCP right here. You see a lot of the similarities on this handle right here, and I don't know who designed which first, but let me move some of these knives out of the way so you can get a better view of this. Even the Warren Thomas looks really similar to it. So outside of the second choil, you know, the blade choil, when you look at the handles on these two knives, they're almost identical, I think. You know, kind of this curve on the back of the handle, straight edge to this deep choil, to where it kicks out here on the handle, and then obviously they had to make the indent on this handle for the choil, but very similar. And so it's no surprise that the VCP is, you know, people love the VCP and they love the ergonomics of the VCP. So yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd point that out. VCP is an awesome knife, and Les George has done a Dauntless collaboration in the past, so I don't think anybody is stepping on anybody's toes. I'm not implying one way or the other. So even the Warren Thomas, you see a lot of the similarities in the handle shape, at least for the Model 2.5. All right, so overall, I don't know if I even really talked about the knife. I mean, overall, this knife is a great EDC option with the choil for, you know, good precision work. The blade is not the longest, you know, at 2.9 inches. That's the same blade length as my MPR right here. So you can kind of see how that measures up. Well, I guess the MPR is from tip to handle, so you do still get a little bit more blade on the Dauntless than the MPR. But overall, I think the Dauntless production is a great knife. It allows the masses to kind of get their hands on the, you know, the coveted Dauntless production, or just design, in their hands. I think similar to what Spyderco did with the Brad Southard flipper, you know, gets the feel of a Brad Southard into the masses' hands. You know, so a normal average Joe like me, who maybe can't afford like the crazy high-end knives and custom knives, you know, we at least can get a feel from these collaborations. And so the fact that the proto Dauntless is from TAD themselves is a pretty cool thing to be able to partake in these knives. Alright, so anyway, those are the TAD Dauntless MK1 and the MK2 knives. Let me just put these on the presentation side so you can get a better feel of some of these knives here. Alright, so anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching my videos, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.